Welcome to yet another episode, or should I say, a fantastic episode of the Captain's Arena. Keep on saying this. We have so many captains of different industries and businesses or sectors in the country, but what has been missing heavily from these businesses or these industries is the profile of the captains in these industries. Now today, we're looking at a particular business in the country, talking about a business of investments and trading. We're talking about what trading that is and what investments those are. But then, indeed, if we're going to talk about personal finance, then we do have leaders of those businesses in the country. And one of those notable businesses in Kenya is FXpressor. Now, some of you might have run across EGM Securities. Today, I'm going to tell you the association of EGM Securities with FXpressor, and that's not going to come from me. It's going to come from the captain of that particular business himself. And also now, talk about the importance of growing this particular business in the country. I'm talking about the business of investments and trading as well. I take this time then to welcome the CEO FXpressor, one Mr. Kiraka Samuel, to Captain's Arena. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you, Elijah. How are you?
Happy to have you around. I am well, I can't complain.
Yeah, great to be back.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Let me begin this conversation like this. I'm not going to talk about FXpressor right now. We're going to get into that. I'm not going to mention about EGM Securities. That's way later in the conversation. When people look at you, I'll be very much interested in your childhood. Is there a key takeaway in your childhood story that you would say, now, looking back, I think I was destined to this particular position?
Destined to success.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Or becoming a CEO of a top business in the country.
Yeah, I come from a humble background.
Yes.
My parents brought me up just like any other young boy. I'm the second one in the family, so I have an elder brother who I followed and emulated.
In a family of how?
In a family of 4.
Yes.
So I have 2 sisters behind me, and therefore I was right in the middle there. But my brother was like 4 years older, so there was a bit of a gap. So I was more closer to the younger guys because the gap was less. So Christian background, and raised in a Christian family, where we would do the normal things of Sunday school and singing, and visitors would come in the house and you would do a verse, and a poem and a song. So that's when I was a young guy. Then went to school, and I had this dream of big cars, big house. That was when I was very, very young.
Yeah. In fact, which was a big car back in your time? I'd like to.
Oh, maybe a Land Rover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I was born in the village.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in the village, but I was born in the village. So
Yes.
the cars there were Land Rovers and big because of the mud in the village. Yeah. But then came to Nairobi and started schooling in Nairobi. So I've been in Nairobi since. So that was what I had in my mind when I was pretty young. And when we came to Nairobi, started primary school, into high school, into college, and work. So I've basically been, of course, with my roots, I still connect with my roots. I'm still able to do a lot of community work in my village. I'm from Nyandarua County, so I still engage with my county pals and do a lot there.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was how my early days.
Guess what they say, that somebody who ends up in business
Yes.
is kind of already known that this particular individual is going to end up in business. Your key takeaway that you would say that, I did have a liking in business.
I did have a liking in business, but the way I saw it, I was looking at joining the financial services sector, financial services industry, the banking mainly, or investment banking. But my upbringing and the people who mentored me. One was actually a fund manager. He was the CEO of a fund management company.
Yes.
And the other one was a banker in one of the key banks. General manager, and the other one was CEO.
Yes.
From when I was very young, I must have been in high school. So I worked with them. One of us an accountant, the other one was a business mind. And my father did business not as a
I see where it
businessman,
comes from.
not as
Yeah.
a businessman, but as an employee in a business
I see that
enterprise.
now. Yes.
Yeah, in a publishing house. So they would actually do the materials, put books together and sell.
Yes.
So every time we traveled, he had this number of books in the boot, and he would go delivering in bookshops as we were up country or went to visit relatives. So that's how the business angle came into my mind.
I see that now.
Yeah.
I want to pick your story from where essentially now you developed and you found yourself at the United States International University. I should mention that was my university as well.
Oh, great.
But quite recently. In 1997, International Business Administration.
Yes.
How did you land on this particular course?
My background is finance.
Yes.
So I studied accountancy. I'm a certified public accountant in Kenya. So that is my training. Then went to USIU to just study business, get the academics. So I went to do international business, not just business, but international business. My thinking was it will open me up to global operators, look at what international trade and stuff like that. Because I remember my vision was to be a banker and to be in the financial service industry. But that now you have to think beyond Kenya. So that's what motivated me to actually do international business. And it was a good experience. I would do economics, that is global, finance, international papers. Yeah, it was quite exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
So when I would look back at when you stepped out of USIU,
Yes.
you know what they say? Again, business people will be business, regardless of where they go. Did you ever try to start a business of yourself, or you're one of those like individuals who came out and boom, landed employment?
To be honest, I landed employment.
Okay.
From when I finished college, I got into internship in an auditing firm and moved up from one firm to another to where I am today. But the point here is, you thank God for the opportunities that have been made available to you, and you grab them and run with them. But from a business perspective, yes, I have been able to set up businesses. Some of them now have become international brands. So one of the ones I started was Gulf African Bank. That's the first Sharia compliant bank back in 07. All the way from licensing, going to the Central Bank of Kenya to get a license. And Sharia banking is, I'm not Muslim, I'm a Christian. So it was very interesting getting to learn about Sharia, reading about Islamic faith and how they do business.
Yes.
Very ethical way of doing business for sure, and very different but very, very accommodative. Then from there on, started off another one, which is Salam Investment Bank. That again was a Sharia compliant asset management. Like I told you, preference was always banking and financial services. Yeah, so we just moved from one to another.
Yes.
That was pretty exciting. That was my last engagement before joining EGM FXpressor.
Yes.
4 years ago.
Yes.
So, and then of course, when I joined EGM, it was at its infancy. It had just been set up. They were looking for a CEO to take it to the next level. And I got the opportunity to give it a shot, and I can't complain.
Pretty much.
No regrets.
And I know we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Let me first then start getting your sentiments,
Yes.
or your vision as a CEO now. And I want to take you back to when you're at ABC Capital as well.
Yes.
You were there, and
Yes.
also your managerial positions now. Was there a time you said, maybe I'm not ready for these positions? Because you are not a CEO just this time around. Yes.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It's now 11 years
Yes.
since my first CEO position. So it's been a journey. But the point was this. My mentors had also not started as CEOs. They grew up, and they showed me how they grew in the organizations. So in the banking, started off as a tailor. They went and became GM.
Yes.
The other one started as an accountant and became the CEO. So I could see myself in those footsteps. So what I did is I started an audit. So in audit, you're able to get a lot of business entrepreneurs working with you. So you'd audit today a hospital. Tomorrow you'd audit a vet clinic. The next day you'd audit a bookshop. The next day you'd audit a hotel, a transport company. So it gives you all-roundedness around different businesses, and you get an appreciation of the diversity of some of these businesses. So that was audit. Then came to insurance. My first accounting job was in an insurance company. So in the insurance company, I was able to learn investments. How do you multiply? Remember, people pay you premiums. You invest so that at retirement or when a claim is being paid, you will have paid more than the premium that somebody paid.
That's
So you'd pay 10,000, 20,000 every year.
Yes.
But over 15 years, that product will mature, the policy will mature, and you'll need to pay a lump sum. So how do you then take care of that investment so that at maturity, you have a lump sum to pay? So that's some good science, right? So I got curious to get to understand how does those investment things work.
Yes.
So I became an investment accountant, then an investment manager, just tweaking around the same portfolios. And then within investments, you're also learning about property. How do you buy land and accumulate over time and it builds value? How do you build an estate and sell it into real estate? Did that either for rent or for sale. Did that on a group level as an employee. Did that in social circles as chairmas. So to a large extent, got that experience. Then now, from moving from the investment world, going to banking, going to start Sharia banking. Now you actually get the commercials. Somebody coming in with a proposal. They want to be funded to buy a matatu. They want to be funded to start an industry. Yes. They want to start a business. You walk through their proposal. You see end to end. Are they able to pay the installments? Are they able to run their cash flows properly? You train them where you need to, skill them where you need to. So that gives you an all-rounded view around business. And when you're in there, I got an opportunity to sit in a committee at the church, one of the Apex committees, and do the HR, sit in the HR committee. I was the chair of the finance committee, and HR would sit within my. So I started getting issues about HR. How do you manage staff? How do you appraise staff? You know, of course, I'm also growing in my career from entry level to junior manager, senior manager, yes, before you become CEO. Yes. So you're pulling all these experiences together and now saying, I seem to have gotten a few things together. Is there an opportunity for a general manager position? So you look out for that. And then from there, another door opens. That's how it was never in a plan that, but you know, you have it at the back of your mind. And so long as you're aggressive and a go-getter, you can get it.
Pretty much. Let me start picking your mind right now as a CEO. Mr. Samuel, what is your definition of a successful business?
A successful business, in my view, is one that is able to take care of its stakeholders. So stakeholders here would be the shareholder, the person who had the vision, who came and said, you know, I want to set up this hotel. Yes. Do I have a piece of land? Yes. Do I have personnel? Yes. So take care of the shareholder who put in the initial investment and had the vision. As managers, then work to execute that vision efficiently and effectively as much as possible as a team leader. But remember, within a team, we have to all work together to achieve more. So you have the team leader who's just the guide, which is what we do. In my office, I have a team that I work with, and all I work is to. So the stakeholder to take care of is the shareholder. Am I pushing their vision? They delegate mandate to me as a CEO to now take this. These are the next strategic objectives. We need to roll out here. We need to do this. We need to grow business. We need to go to these new markets. We need to introduce new products. Now that is my role to dream. This is the vision. But to execute is now management. So I have to drive the strategy around expansion. Which markets do we want to go into? Which areas do we want to go into? To drive the vision of the shareholder. Then as CEO, I need to take care of and carry the team with me so that we achieve more. So you have your personnel. Take care of them. They're stakeholders. They have livelihoods. They support people back home and extended families. You know our African culture. It's not you. It's about you and your people. Yeah. So take care of them. Make them happy. Let them feel at home. Let them feel appreciated. You know, let them feel that they belong. This is their second home. They came from home in the morning, but when they're here, they forget about home and they just work because they feel empowered, appreciated, and supported. That's the way it is. So those are the second key stakeholders. The third ones are your customers. And in no particular order. Your customers. Are they happy? Can they vouch for you that your product is authentic? Your customer relationship with them is A1, that you're actually able to give them what they're looking for. And that you're authentic. It's not, you must be authentic. They must be able to see the business as an authentic business and it's taking care of their interests as stakeholders. You have government. Are you paying your taxes? Are you doing the right thing? Are you taking care of the environment? Are you giving back to the community? Because we have to give back to the community. You're privileged, so also remember the less fortunate. Yes. So run schemes, do mentorship, of young people. We are running a mentorship program with Alliance and Alliance High School and Alliance Girls and others, where we are talking to young people and walking the journey, bring them to the business for them to learn.
Yes.
Offer internships. Young people who've left college who are interested in the kind of business we do, bring them on board. So you're not just you as a business, you're thinking about the community. How do you bring in the young people who want to learn financial services into the business for them to learn and to grow together with us?
Now, that particular point takes me to my next question, because you're in an industry where Kenya has been blamed. We have a poor savings culture, which essentially would mean that we have a poor investment culture, because you can't invest if you're not saving. And so it got me thinking that Mr. Kiraka right there, when he's seated, he's saying, one of the things that I have to achieve is investor education, trader education. Would you say, maybe it's too late in my career for me to focus on education right now? I want to be in an industry where everything is set. I'm just here to drive results. But it looks as if that for you to get results or to create an impact within the economy, for your business to grow, you have to invest heavily in education. Is that something that you're still passionate about? Educating young people, educating your peers who actually get on investments and trading?
Yeah, that is a pet subject. Education is key. At TGM FXpressor, we realized early enough that we need to train people around savings and investments, creating a culture, because like you said, rightfully, Ledger, you can't invest if you haven't saved. All right, and for you to have done that, you need to have made some money, some income. So the way we are doing it, we're running a financial literacy program, and we've done this since 2020. And the objective here is, when you have a more literate, financially literate people in the country or in an economy, you're likely to thrive in whatever business. And when we do it, we don't do it because it's EGM FXpressor that we're looking to. We want to empower the young people. We realize the level of literacy, there's a lot we can learn. There's a lot that we can empower young people. Those of us who've had the privilege of having run a business and some exposure around finance and investments, impacting that to the young guys leaving college. Today, a young man leaves college, or a young lady, they have the skills. They can get onto the computer, internet, and everything. But you need to skill them now around financial management. You need to tell them, yes, you're going online. You can use the same equipment to go and do business online. Yeah? Because you're on all these sites, why not focus on a site that will help you? So make something for yourself. Trade, save, invest. All right? So when you trade, so our financial literacy program now, we have just over 520,000 people that since we started. And by the end of the year, we want to be at 1 million people that we'll have reached on our financial literacy program. It's a purpose. Last year we needed to get to 500, which we did, no, to 250 just the year only, which took us to 380 by the end of last year. Now from 380,000 last year, we are now at 481 this week. By end of the year, we want to be at 1 million. So we have about just below 500,000 to train between now and end of the year about financial literacy.
Yes.
Impacting them, be it through videos, sessions. We have 6 locations for FXpressor in Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret, Kitengela, Thika, and Eastleigh, where we are meeting people physically. They can come to the office. We talk to them about financial savings, how to trade. How to trade now becomes the next psychology of trading, the products that are available in the markets that we offer as FXpressor. But more critically is creating an enabling environment for people to appreciate savings. When you trade, save some money for a rainy day. How to trade, where to put the money, and invest it. Because over long term, wealth is not made in quick wins. It takes time to build wealth.
That's it.
And therefore, make some money today, come tomorrow, the next day, and put it away. Invest it in investments that will make sense. Don't go for the unfortunate quick win schemes that we see, which can be very unfortunate for many investors. But get into schemes that you understand. Invest with people you've heard about, you've known, you interacted with, that can help you as an individual to go that route. So we are key and big on financial literacy.
Yes. If I hear you speak, it's as if you're passionate about education. But then the investor education that you're pushing out to the economy is get important knowledge that can help you now. When I track your journey as well in education, it's as if you're right within it. It's as if you knew exactly what you're going to study, you knew exactly what your vision was and what you want to get out of education. Is that what you're saying? Just don't study now for the sake of studying, let it be specific.
Yes, Elijah, I think the point is go for your vision.
That's it.
Because if you follow your vision, it becomes a natural. So if you want to become a doctor in animal health or veterinary, then that's love animals, be with animals, be in the wild. You know, if you want to be an engineer, you want to do aeronautics, then focus there and look at journals and materials. And there's a lot of education, internet now and everywhere else. You know, so yes, that is key. And for us, that's why we talk about financial literacy. And financial literacy then becomes our first objective. And it's not about, we cover that cost. In those 6 locations, we actually don't charge anyone to come in and learn. It's free because we are empowering the citizens. We want to equip them with the right knowledge. We want to show them on how to invest in skills at no cost. So we cover that cost. Of course, there has to be a cost. You have to pay for power, internet connectivity, and the staff who are doing it. But we cover that cost as a business. So even talk about giving back to the community, that's part of it. Because it's absolutely free. We give it for free. And we can go days on end speaking about financial literacy. And the sessions we have, very exciting, where we bring in young people, train them, they compete, create small groups to just compete amongst themselves about trading, you know, give them some small awards. I mean, it's very, very exciting.
Pretty much. Guess what? We're still right here on the Captain's Arena. You can join us online, and the hashtag is the Captain's Arena at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. Once we come back, then the questions that majority of you, but I've run into majority of those questions online. What is the difference between FXpressor and EGM Securities? What are the products they're educating you on? What do they want you to do? Guess what is right here? Let's answer those questions. And the biggest of all, how does he live his life? What is this big doctrine that drives him every day? Because that is essentially then going to tell us exactly where FXpressor in the country is headed once we come back right here on the Captain's Arena. Welcome back to the Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage, and in case you are just joining us, remember we are online at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms, but more certainly on the Captain's Arena. Search for it. You're going to see exactly what it is that we're trying to do with the captains of different businesses, industries, and sectors in the country. Today, we are lucky to be seated with Mr. Kiraka Samuel, who essentially is leading a certain industry that is key to your personal development, investments. Fantastic. All right, Mr. Kiraka, then, let's talk about the business. Could you distinguish EGM Securities and FXpressor? Majority of people have failed to get the distinction.
Yeah. Thank you, Elijah. EGM Securities is licensed by the CMA, Capital Markets Authority, as a non-dealing online FX broker. So that's the name. That's the name that is licensed by the group, by the CMA, and from a business perspective. FXpressor is an offshoot. Is a retail product for EGM Securities. So it's a licensed brand empowered by EGM, and that's where we now pack the product. So the trading will be on the FXpressor app, or on the FXpressor trading app, or the platform. So if you go to fxpressor.com, that will link you up to our platform. So you'll register, and the client will get in and will make the calls, contact the person, and walk them through, invite them to class. It's quite a journey. So if you go to fxpressor.com, which I would encourage anyone to get into, you will receive a call. Say, yeah, we've seen you've logged in, you've gone through a registration form, and we picked your details, and then call you. And then ask you, yeah, what's your level of understanding about financial products? If you haven't knowledge, you don't have any knowledge around financial products, then we introduce you to the financial literacy class, where you actually we tell you we have a class that happens on this day, come and learn about us. Or if it's you want specifically about trading, we have a class where we now walk you through, from FXpressor perspective, an intermediary class, beginner's class, which really is telling you No, this is what trading is about. These are what the commodities that we are trading on our platform are, be it indices, be it shares, precious metal, products like crude oil, and gold. Uh, Precious metals like gold will be there on the platform. Then after you get to the first class of the psychology of trading, we take you to the next class, which is an intermediary class, where you now take that to a higher level, and then of course the advanced class, where you now become, a real trader. You open your account and you run them. So virtual money, try it out for 2 3 days, then put in your own money and start making money. So that's really what FXpressor is. We can download it on the phone.
Yes.
We have equity trader app. We used to call it FXpressor app. It still is, but we now call it equity trader app, and you can download it at fxpressor.com.
Pretty much. So somebody's listening here saying, well, interesting. That's the man behind that product. I want to take you back a bit to the time that you were at as the head of government securities at Old Mutual and also at ABC Capital. Your relationship now with essentially understanding what people will call these new line investment vehicles. People say, listen, it's not a hotel, it's not a butchery where you have to be there, learn the figures and learn the trade or learn about the best meats. People say, well, the other people outside here, the other institutions outside here already know where to put that money in. So the only thing that I need to give them is my cash, and then I wait for returns. Do you share that particular sentiment?
Yes, I do, Elijah. And if you take back a few steps, when we started talking about alternative investments,
Yes.
then we had what we were calling collective investment schemes. So collective investment schemes comes from, it's actually now licensed and regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, but it came from gentlemen coming together, women coming together as a chama and saying, let's put in this 500,000 each over 5 years and build an investment product for ourselves. So they would come together, meet every month, make a contribution and put some savings away.
Yes.
This money would go to a bank or bank deposit or something. And bigger people, maybe like some of the businesses we've seen, bigger chamas would actually set up. You remember a company like Centum, TransCentury.
Yes.
TransCentury was set up from an investment club. So these were a couple of gentlemen who came together and put in $1 million each and set up that company. And it grew to become a big company. So the concept of coming together as collective investment scheme didn't start now with the CMA as a product. People had started doing it. Now it became regulated and called collective investment scheme, because that's basically what it was. So what that means is that now under collective investment schemes, you can get 20, 100, 150, 2,000, 100,000 investors coming together and pulling the resources together to build the muscle. So rather than Sam and Elijah going together to invest separately,
Yes.
we come together and we build some muscle and we can negotiate a better return. So if you're going to invest in a unit trust, for example, instead of you investing your 100,000 and my 100,000 separately, when we come together 200, 300, 400,000, we can negotiate a better yield. And that's how this started.
Yes.
However, now when the central bank, the CMA came to regulate it, it opened it up for more. So today's investor does not necessarily need to have the nitty-gritties around what is the yield that is being paid by Treasury or in a corporate bond, because the fund manager or asset manager will have done the due diligence on some of these companies. And also now say, let's place your investment in vehicle A or vehicle B, depending on your risk profile. So if you have a low risk appetite, you can go to a low yield investment like a money market fund, for example, which is almost mirrors a fixed deposit or a treasury bill or treasury bond. Then you have an income fund that will give you slightly better, more long term.
Yes.
Then you have the equities, which are a bit more aggressive. So you as Elijah will not want to know this counter and this counter and that counter. How is it doing? When are they paying dividends? How much is the dividends? When you give it to a fund manager, then they will do that. That's orientation within asset management business.
Yes.
So you give it to the professional, and the professional takes the mandate to go out and look for investment vehicles that match your profile, which you pre-approved.
Yes.
That this is my profile, this is where I would want you to invest.
Pretty much.
But today we have seen a difference. We have seen investors now being more learned. They are more curious. They want to try out things. And we are happy because that way they can actually come to the market and say, I want to trade myself. Can you empower me? And that's how now the training has picked up around the assets available, even global markets, not just local.
Yes.
What you talked about were really local. Treasury bills, treasury bonds,
Yes.
government securities really, and then the shares on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Today, we're opening you up to securities overseas. You can trade gold, you can trade copper, you can trade natural gas, from our platform. And a lot of investors want training and equipping around how they can do that. So we have, like you said, we have seen a shift.
Yes.
But one must get to understand. Because then if you don't understand what it involves, the risk matrix there, the profile there, then it could be a bad experience. So we encourage people to ensure that before you get in, you understand, you learn the process, and we are able to walk you through this.
Yes. Sam, I want to get this idea. It's been, what, you say 2 full years now at FXpressor. And every new CEO comes in with this particular challenge. And I want to achieve ABCD. It's been 2 years now. And, well, it's public information that FXpressor is exponentially growing within the country now as the #1, I would say, new line investment platform. What will you credit to your growth?
The company is 5 years. We're just about to mark our 5th birthday.
Yes.
So we thank God this far we have come. We were the first to be licensed. So being a trailblazer, you have to keep reinventing and staying ahead of the market. So thank you for the compliment. But yes, the important thing is to listen to your customer. What does the customer want? What is the customer experience? What's the customer journey? So we have a 24-hour customer care line. So it doesn't matter what time of day or night you call, you're able to reach our team. They'll be able to respond to your query. I'm not able to load. I'm having a challenge with my withdraw, because FXpressor, as I can tell you, is instant deposit and instant withdraw, because we are using the normal platforms that you have. Today, you can do your M-Pesa transaction anytime. So we are like that as well.
Yes.
So anytime you've gone into the trading, you want to close your position and you want to pick some money, you just apply and the money is put in your wallet within a short period.
Yes.
So it's very, that in itself is very good, because most of the other investment vehicles, you would put in and wait. But here you could actually be at a barber shop, but you forgot your wallet. But you have your phone. All right. So you just download, if you don't have an M-Pesa balance, you go to your portal, withdraw some cash, it's withdrawn, it's put on your M-Pesa wallet, and you pay your barber, or you pay for your grocery.
Yes.
I mean, it's that easy and that simple.
But by the time that you were taking over as the CEO at FXpressor, what is this thing that you wanted investors to associate with the FXpressor? I know you had that vision. What is it you wanted them to see?
Yeah, the vision has been, like we said, about education. Education. That's one. Number two, then you have to be an honest brand. People must be seeing that FXpressor is actually authentic, because it is. That we are caring and nurturing, because we want to walk with our journey. And we are here today, tomorrow. We are not here for the short term. We are here for the long term. And the reason we've gone to these other 5 locations outside Nairobi is purely that, to enhance that this is a local brand. You can identify with it. We are employing your brothers and sisters in the various locations, So we are an authentic brand. Previously, we had the offshore brokers who were not here. They would actually come, pick your deposits, go and trade overseas, and send you the money when you need it. We are here. You can come to the office and say, I want to see the CEO. You'll find some. And my team. You have a commercial director sitting with me. You have the head of compliance sitting with me. You have the head of operations sitting with me. If you have any challenge, customer care chiefs are all there. You just walk in, whether any of the locations. And you don't even need to walk there. Just call. Just call and we'll receive your call and be able to answer. So we want to be seen to be authentic, because we care for this country. We care for the young people that we are seeing who are jobless, trying to help them create a livelihood for themselves.
Yes.
If they can come into our class and learn how to make a trade and make $5, $10, they don't go to the streets. They are at home. Their parents have availed internet. During COVID, for example, when people were all working from home, it was unfortunate for sure. It was a very sad. We lost a lot of people. Businesses crashed, loved ones lost, livelihoods. But we also saw a lot of people coming in to learn alternative ways of making money when you're sitting in at home. Because you can't go out to do business. But I have some money in my phone. Let me learn FXpressor. What are they doing? We train them, we equip them. We have people who tell me today they come and give testimonials. I was working in a restaurant. The restaurant closed. I went back home. I started trading. I have opened my own restaurant from the gains that I have made online. That's a great testimony. As FXpressor, it gives me a lot of pride that I have people who've gone, they've started Uber. A guy was an Uber driver. He said, okay, now we are grounded. People are not moving. How do I make something out of the small savings? Because I don't know when the economy will reopen.
Yes.
Let me start. So they would come to FXpressor, we train them, we equip them, and they start getting by as they wait for the economy to pick up. So there are good testimonials of people's lives that have been impacted positively by FXpressor, and we are very, very proud to see that happen.
If indeed it's not the millennials that you're targeting, because they're the ones now you would say or have disposable incomes, they're looking for where to place their money, their families are growing, their careers are growing, you would say that that is the clientele, that's the customer for FXpressor right there. What is this gap that you think still exists for FXpressor to continue growing into if we are going to close our eyes to the growth that we've already seen in the past?
Yeah, 5 years is pretty young.
Yes.
We have a long journey. Like I mentioned, we have to get to a million trained personnel by end of the year.
Yes.
Across, not just Kenya. If you can go to East Africa, the better. And the point here is to create an army of traders. People who actually see this as an opportunity. You're trading global. You're not just looking at Kenya. We are now a global village. So you can see what's happening in China. You can see what's happening in Japan.
Yes.
And opportunities that are out there in the US and the UK. Yes, the world has a recession, but there is a volatility that is within reasonable levels for people to trade. And you know, in our business, a bit of volatility is why you make money, because you're buying low and selling high and making something. The same way a butchery would do. Buy a goat, kill it, cut it into small pieces and sell it at a premium. So it's for us the same. You go and buy gold at this price, be it $1,800, and sell it at $1,851 or 52 and make $2. And you move the next one, you know. So that's what I would see. So the market is huge, because look, today we may be talking about 1 million people to educate. If those 1 million people actually get to actually trade, that's a huge number. There, just that number is huge, you know. So, and because it's the industry is still at its infancy, and you have a lot of young people coming into the market every year. You know, class 8, I think they're getting to almost 1 million doing exam every year.
Yeah.
Now with CBC and stuff.
Yeah.
In O levels, maybe 500,000 are coming out. You know, then going to college, about 200,000 go to college. So another 300,000 don't, you know, maybe TVET and stuff. You know, so there are a lot of young people coming out that we need to create opportunities for them to learn. So the market, in my view, there is potential. We just need to do the right thing, educate them, skill them. Because when you have a skilled labor force, when you have a skilled community, then you're able to drive an economy positively.
Pretty much. Let me take you off FXpressor a little bit, because I want you to give us a vision now in 5 years for FXpressor. Hopefully by then you'll be the CEO, not looking back at how long you've taken in the other top positions before. Is that doctrine that you live your life by? If somebody looks at you, what are they likely to meet?
My view, you know, you will never know about too much about yourself.
Yes.
But I try to do the right thing. But more importantly, doing the right thing right. You know, it's one thing to do the right thing. But doing it right is where many of us fault. So do the right thing. You know, this is the right thing. But more importantly, do it right.
Do it right.
I've lived by that from when I was very young. When I started working, my mom told me, you know, Sam, you're a young executive. You will go places if you keep to the straight and narrow. Just do the right thing. So I went a step forward and said, okay, but then also do that right thing right. So that has been what I've lived by. I'm a Christian. I've come up from a religious family, like I told you.
Yes.
So that in itself has helped me contain myself around, you know, integrity issues, being honest, doing the right thing, and I'm happy with what I've been able to achieve. So 5 years down the road, I see a big FXpressor, I see a big industry, a lot of young people coming in and embracing global markets. We're not just looking about Kenya. We want to give these young investors an opportunity to look beyond Kenya. You know, go out there and see, but you're still here. You know, You're still here, but you're operating in the global markets. You're able to trade. You should stay up late and trade with other traders in other markets, in the US, for example. And then take your profits and invest at home. Invest in Kenya and do your business here. So I see potential for FXpressor, maybe regional, and you'll be able to hear news in the future around which new markets we are looking into and we are getting into. So stay close and see what God is doing for us as a business.
Somebody told me to ask you this question as a side note. At what point, Sam, are you going to sit back and say, I've been in the industry for quite some time now. I think I've achieved whatever it is that I wanted to achieve. Or you still have no marker for what is going to be your final straw in this particular industry?
I don't intend to exit the industry because I'm a finance and investment professional.
Yes.
So whether it will be on consultancy or it will be running a business, that's when you're a doctor, you're always a doctor. You can't move to something else, right? So when you're a finance expert, you would have to just remain within finance. Now give back to the community a lot more. I still do, but give them a lot more now time to investors, mentoring young people. We run mentorship for young people, try and see, how do we equip, even not just my own two sons, but even others, just mentoring them and just showing them. And that will continue. And for the years God gives me, I'll be able to mentor young people like yourselves to see what we can do for the future of this country and beyond.
If there's one thing that you like your two sons to know, I mean, if there's a lot that they got to learn from a man who's had quite a career like yours, but if there's something that you may want to point them out to, the one thing that you would wish they fully understand, what would it be?
To follow their passion. To follow their passion. And like I said, do the right thing.
Yes.
And do it right.
Absolutely. Are they business-minded like you are?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are more aggressive. They are quite aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah. They are young people. They are still in college and school. But,
yes.
But you can see the traits. I mean, during the holidays, they want to hustle and do something. Yeah.
I see that.
So, yeah. So,
pretty much. Let's kill it like this then, Sam. FXpressor, in 5 years, what would you want that company to be?
FXpressor needs to be a household name. Every family needs to have a trader. If you have 5 children, one of them needs to be a trader. Trading on FXpressor platform.
That's it.
Yeah, and learning and having impacted, we want to impact many more. And like I said, even from a community perspective, not just business, even going to the community, talking about empowering people. Like I've said, changing the lives of the young people we are working with in terms of education and supporting them from the less privileged communities, and saying we're paying your fees, we're walking the journey with you. During your vacation, come and learn at FXpressor. We'll be able to support you in a small way. What we can, we will do, and we continue to do. Our employees, make sure that they're happy, they feel taken care of, because you won't build 5 years with an unhappy lot.
That's it.
Take care of them, understand them, their families, who they are, their backgrounds, support them where they need support, train, mentor, and once you do that, Sam's job is done.
Ooh. As I told you, it was going to be quite an episode right here on the Captain's Arena. That is Sam, from right within FXpressor, speaking outside, talking about investor education and why you need essentially to understand what you're getting yourself into before you start putting your money into it. Sam, thank you very much for coming by, man. It was a lovely sit-up with you.
Thank you, Elijah. We appreciate the opportunity. And happy to come again.
Fantastic. I'll call you back again. Maybe season 2, you'll be in episode 1, I do promise. Guess what? Take him back to the time that he joined us right here on our Lookup TV's Captain's Arena. That is at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. I know majority of questions are going to come up from this episode, and I do promise that I'm going to list them down, and then I send those comments and suggestions to him so that we can see exactly how he is going to respond to them as well. Guess what? I'll meet you next week for another fantastic episode. This is Captain's Arena. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Goodbye.